Hello Scorpios, welcome to your reading with me, Cindy. I've already got a couple of cards out here for you, Scorpio, and I'm going to get right into it with you. You're going through a transitional phase here of where I would say things have needed to be very practical and steady and steadfast and realistic to kind of like, this is the energy that you're pulling out right now. And this card really does talk about how important it is to dream and dream big and not imagine your future small, not imagine yourself small. Is what is the biggest thing that you can dream for yourself, and to start doing that. So it's kind of a very beautiful, inspiring energy that I'm picking up on here for you. This is the underline. So the stork can represent a change in directions. It can represent good news. It can represent faithfulness, new opportunities. But the anchor talks about being like realistic. It talks about being realistic, being steadfast, being anchored or stabled, or stabilized. Possibly like maybe there's something here that you were working on and you were trying to stabilize it. But right now it is like dream big, honey. Just dream big. Almost like let the cosmos wash over you. Let the cosmos wash over you. I'm hearing, like, as I say wash, it almost sounds like watch. So maybe a little bit of both here. Let the cosmos watch over you and let them rain down on you. Some like blessings too. With the star, I get heavy, heavy blessings, and there's so many raining down on this person. It's kind of like a total side message here, but someone here might be, you know, when you see like those lights that, lights like that, like they kind of like hang down. There could be, I don't know if some of you have been thinking about doing that in your space or being creative in some way with lights. You're being encouraged to do that. But this is a time, Scorpio, dreams. Believe in your dreams, maybe some dreams that you've had in the past as well, to imagine those being fulfilled. Okay, so that was the Lace of Destiny Oracle deck. We're going to get into, right now, the Shadows of the Middle Ages Oracle deck. I'm going to look at your energy, an energy of another outside of you, how you and this energy are connected in whatever way you are. Let's see. Okay, your energy, wow, the labyrinth. So, okay, you may be, I want to say you might be looking through a lot of different options in your life right now. You may feel like you've kind of walked into a cycle here and you're not really sure where it's going or where you come out on the other end of something. Interesting. It could also feel like you may go down one avenue and, well, that didn't really turn into much. Or then you go down another area and like, well, I guess that was fun for a time, but now I'm going down here. Like, it's very interesting. It's not straightforward. You're not on a straightforward path here. And being in a labyrinth can also feel like a little bit lost, or you're in this space without a map. What is this over here? What is this other energy here? Thistle. It's somebody who's very persistent. When I say persistent, this could also be someone who has protective boundaries around them. Very protective boundaries around that. How are you and this energy connected? The present, right in the present moment. You and this energy are connected right in the present moment. Oh, that's odd. I've never had that come in before. So I'm having a really unique message come in here that as you're literally watching this reading, the person that you're connected with is also watching it. Right? So I want to feel like, what is our present moment here, me and you? It's right this. It's this right now. Okay, right? You get it? You know what I'm saying? That's so fascinating. The rider is the underline here. Actually, it's kind of like a deep Scorpio energy to me. If I think about that, if I take a second and I think about it, because this is often like memories from our past, the deep memories that reside and feelings that reside within us from those memories. Well, let's take a little look here at the Labyrinth card for you, number 43. The labyrinth card represents a complex and winding path towards a goal or resolution. In the context of reading, the labyrinth card could suggest a situation that requires careful navigation and perseverance. That's also interesting because this over here, whoever or whatever this is very perseverant. It may indicate the need to approach challenges with patience, a strategy, and a willingness to explore different paths. The card reminds you to trust your intuition and to have faith that you will eventually find your way out of the maze. You need the thread of Aronde, I don't know. Find the light in your heart. Gather confidence in your abilities and move forward. The path is long and challenging but conquerable. Fascinating. Well, it's not an easy energy, but you could look at it. Oh, you know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing Who Moved My Cheese. I don't know if I've mentioned that book many, many times. Well, not like all the time, but like maybe once a year. I want to say that book comes up in some random reading, or it might come through a few times. It's a great book. If you've never read it, you should read it. It's great. It'll take you like maybe an hour to get through it. It's a really fascinating book about things that we find that are consistent in our lives, and then that consistency starts to move. But humans often have a difficult ability to move away from what they understood, this is where I had my consistency, or this is where I felt stable, or this is what was predictable in my life. Like when predictability changes, we tend to, and I think mostly because of like the societal norms that we have created for ourselves of safety and stability. Like most of us born into that to some degree. So it's kind of like how we are programmed early on. But the natural ebb and flow of life is for change. The natural ebb and flow does not mean that if something was giving you abundance or stability in one area, it doesn't mean that it's always going to be there, right? Like if we think about animals that migrate and move around, because they know that abundance is not always right there. Sometimes you got to walk into the maze and you have to explore. And so looking at this is almost like, try not to look at it like you're lost, but try to look at it like you're on an adventure, right? None of us gets out of here unscathed or alive. I think I can say that with Scorpio, and y'all won't be like, oh my gosh, that's so scary. Most of y'all don't anyways, but I think it's safe to say that in here. But it's true. None of us are getting out of here unscathed or alive. Or alive. Interesting. Sometimes I wonder why words come out certain ways. Is this just my stumbling? Or is there something more behind that? All right, so the labyrinth and the thistle. Maybe, okay, so here's what I want to say. You might be bumping up against a thistle right now in this labyrinth. People are like, what? If you look at this does look a little overgrown. Like, it does look like there's like areas here that, haven't been tended to. The gardener doesn't get in there. That area, I feel like the thistle is something that you're bumping up against. And it also is something that kind of like, it always rears its ugly head. Like there it is again. I bumped into another one of these thistles, but they're really difficult to deal with, right? Like it's hard to get your hand around it and pull it out because you're going to get spiked. If you're trying to just move around it, it's still going to spike you. Like this thing is covered in spikes, but because it's presently, you are in the labyrinth and you're presently hitting a thistle. Let's learn about the thistle, shall we? And even look it up. I think there's some sort of symbolism in here because a lot of times the things that can cause us sort of like pain and discomfort actually have medicinal effects to them. I believe the thistle does. There's a few plants, I think the thistle is one, we'll see if it's in here, that do, like they can sting, but they also can be utilized at different times, like the chemical in them that causes the sting, there's usually something there, not just the spike itself, that has a medicinal effect in certain circumstances. The thistle card represents resilience, protection, and boundaries. It signifies a prickly situation or a need to establish boundaries to protect yourself from negativity or harm. This card suggests the importance of preservation, and standing up for yourself in challenging circumstances. It encourages you to be assertive, assert your boundaries, and prioritize your well-being. The Thistle card reminds you that while obstacles may arise, you have the strength and resilience to overcome them and protect your own interests. Well, that's very interesting. Thistle finds its way through anywhere where others give up. It will persist and flourish. It's a son of a gun. But I feel like you're bumping up against a thistle. You know, it wouldn't be the first time, Scorpio. I'm telling you, I say it to you guys more than anybody else, where I often feel like I come into a reading to look at your energy and someone else's energy, and y'all bogarting it. Because you could be. Because it talks about persistence, and you do have to have persistence in the labyrinth. I'm going to kind of continue to read this like it's something outside of you, but if you feel more comfortable, like, yeah, I know, Cindy, no, it's me. It's me. I'm the thistle. I'm working on my boundaries, but you're also bound within something at the same time, right? Like to be in this labyrinth. Presently, the thistle. The thistle has to look after itself. It has no choice. And I say that too. I'm sure these plants have very, they're really good. They're really good for you. Anything that has something of value, right? Anything that has something of value will be protected or disguised. Like different ways that the world works here. Like, and look at nature. Try not to just look at this and how mankind and society have created, you know, our thoughts around these things, because that's wrong. You know, I had this thought the other day. I thought to myself, what if, at sort of like the dawn of time, if, you know, we were, for the most part, human beings were very nomadic. We just moved around and we were like living this, like, whoa, what's here today? Oh, we've run out of that. Oh, let's go on an adventure and find something else that will help us with survival, sustenance, yada, yada. But we've created a very artificial existence. And what if, I thought to myself, what if the first person who came up with the idea to kind of sort of change that, what if they were insane? What, like, let's just stop for a second. What if the first person that said, I'm going to deviate from that path and I'm not going to live this life, I'm going to do this, I'm going to tame that, I'm going to tame this, what if they were mentally imbalanced and insane? I had that thought the other day, and I thought, so that would mean that everything we know was built on the foundation of insanity. And it's not a stretch. I don't think it's a stretch, because we have moved so far away from the natural cycles of how we are meant to exist and live. So, coming back to that, naturally, like if you think about a cactus or any sort of a succulent in the desert, water is really hard to find there, and they're full of it, and they're going to friggin' protect it. So what does nature do? I have to protect this. It's the most valuable thing in this environment right now, so I need to protect it. So that's very interesting, right? Like from the perspective of the thistle, this is very valuable and I need to protect it. Now, it could be, if you're bumping up against this, don't let it deter you necessarily as well. I mean, I'm also not saying, like, if you're in if somebody is like hurting you in a relationship of some sort, if somebody is hurting you in a relationship, not to just keep trying. Don't do that. That's not how, right? Understand the context of where I'm going with this, because there's value. There is value in, particularly, like, this is a boundary. So this is not something that is coming up to you. It's something that you will come up against. It could even be meant to kind of open up value within yourself that you're not recognizing. It's all happening right now. Right now? It's all happening right now. There could be something relevant for some of you for Paris, France. Do you know that France is still the biggest destination in terms of travel and vacation? And it's been like that for like 50 years. Look at that. Yeah, I don't know why I was watching something. And it was funny because it was one of the comments, and I think somebody said, why do people keep going there? There's nothing there. I was like, the human history there is, there's nothing in France to see. Nothing here. Everybody shovel along. I guess it depends on what you're looking for. if you want good food, art, history, romance, poetry, a lot of other things too. Okay, the Labyrinth, the Princess of Cups. Okay, this is interesting. I don't know if there's some type of, it could be like forgiveness or even hope. Because you have the stars, it's like dream big, right? Like really dream big. Scorpio, while you're in this labyrinth, dream big. Take the time, if you've already read it, go back and read it again. I would advise it if you're pulling out the Labyrinth, Who Moved My Cheese. If you haven't read it, please do. Please do. It'll change your life. And there's times where we forget about the story of, or there's little nuances in Who Moved My Cheese. And so it is maintaining hope and perhaps a period here where you are also, I feel like you might, I don't know. I feel like you're trying to either make some type of breakthrough, if that's with a person, or it's with something that you're trying to grow and develop. And it's like, how do I get through this? It's pretty difficult. It almost comes across like something here that you're bumping up against that has a lot of armor around it. But also, it's the cactus in the desert. It's got to protect itself. So the thistle. Look at that. The Four of Cups. Are you dealing with someone here who won't accept, they may not accept, I don't know, it could be, you just kind of trying to reach out to this person, possibly. You could just be trying to be friendly with the Princess of Cups too. It could be an apology. It could be like a small emotional offer from you. Like, I'm just going to say, like, whenever I've had an emotional offer from a Scorpio, it's always felt like fairly genuine. So it'll be like, whoa, oh, that's really sweet. Thanks. Because you know it comes from a deep place, even if there's only a little bit being shown. So I don't know. Somebody is like, look at this. Not accepting it, but it has to protect itself. It can't. These 3 cups at the bottom here, to me, those are like, I'm not getting that this person is just solely focused on negativity, but the bristles that you could possibly be coming up against are there because there is often, I don't know, this is coming across to me as a resource. It's coming across as some type of valuable resource. And it's almost like it's not accepting your offer, or it's not allowing you through. But you have the dream big. What's the presently? The 3 of Pentacles, which is material work. Is this somebody you're working with, like right now? Right now. You're working with this person right now. And they won't let you in. You can't get around this. It's very difficult, but it's like in the labyrinth, it feels like, well, there's nowhere else to go. The Magician, Judgment, 9 of Wands. Okay, it starts, I'm going to keep shuffling, but right now we're looking at great strength with just 9 of Wands. So this is a very long-held boundary. Judgment and the Magician. There's something very specific here in somebody's life that needs to change. And until that change happens, there'll be no creation here. But dream big. Well, you pulled out the 6 of Wands immediately. The 6 of Wands. This is you with the Princess of Cups. The Star. What is up with the Star? Yesterday, was it just, I can't remember. I just remember the last reading I did yesterday was Libra. And they had double star energy. And it was like really crazy, profound reading. And then when this came out, I thought, oh my God, what a crazy synchronicity. Like it's a whole day later. I've cleared the space, shuffled the cards, yada, yada, yada. And here you go. You started out with a star. And now you've pulled out the Star. Twice, just like that happened there. And with the star, oh, the Eight of Swords. Okay, because this looks like you have found yourself at a destination here. And that destination is literally where you're meant to be. It might be who you're meant to build with. It might be where you're meant to build. But you are pushing up against somebody's boundaries, somebody's prickly surface, some type of resistance here you're pushing up against. And I can tell you that you're pushing up against this because it has so much, I don't know, it has so much value in the environment that it's in. Everybody wants a piece of this. It can't just let anybody in here. And because of that, it's kind of like it's also blinded to the fact that you and it, I feel like, are supposed to build something here. And when I say that, it's almost like that there's a force field, there's a lock on something, there's a block here, and it's not as if that the universe has provided, you know, well, if you approach this situation in this energy, Scorpio, it will help identify you and you will walk through. Like, it doesn't show that. It's a very black and white boundary. So the thistle with it's called blended pleasure, the Four of Cups in this deck. Oh, the Six of Cups, there's you. This is the 4, 5, and 6 of Cups is Scorpio's cards in the tarot. And there you go. Look at. Oh, and these, look at. Are you looking? Look, the 4 and the 6 here, they're mirrored numbers. I don't know why I say that. There's something, they mirror each other. They reflect back to one another something. I don't know. I find for whatever reason, and I don't know why, I feel compelled to call out mirrored numbers in my readings. Like, there's something about that. So I don't know. Put in the comments what you think the significance of that is, because it always comes up, and I know a lot of people like the angel numbers, and yes, that does come through at times, but the mirrored numbers, especially when I start, working with cards with Roman numerals, yeah, because you are, see, the 6 of Cups here, you are connected to this thistle. You are, but it's like, nope, I have a boundary here and ain't nobody coming through. The High Priestess and the Sun. Yes. It is hidden and it is protected. What is inside this thistle, man? You know how it comes across to me? It almost comes across like, let's say you're somewhere, maybe you start working somewhere, you're in a new place, and you start working somewhere, and you're, on your way, and you accidentally bump into this person, and you knock their papers out of their hand. Oh, I'm so sorry. And, you help them pick them up, and you carry on your way. And then this person is like cold and like, got like from there on out. And you're thinking, what the heck? Like, and you might have said, oh, I'm so sorry about the other day. We didn't get to introduce ourselves. Hi, my name is Scorpio. And and they're just kind of like, It's not you. And it's almost like it's not you, and it's not that situation. There's something else going on here and literally it's like the universe is protecting this. It's the Sun. The universe is on the other side of deep held secrets and information. There could be also, if this is not specifically a person, it could be some sort of eureka moment that you're trying to capture in some type of endeavor, or something that you're trying to create and understand what the answer is, or the missing piece to a puzzle for yourself. It is just guarded like nobody's business over here. So presently, the Three of Pentacles. The Lovers. This is a destined path. Holy sixes. Like really, holy sixes. So you got the Six of Wands. The Lovers is the 6, right? And then you have the Six of Cups. And now we just pulled out the Six of Pentacles. And then the 10 of Wands. Oppression. That feels like just being in this labyrinth. The Thistle has some type of duty here. And you need to, we all do, I'm not just talking about you in this, and the way I'm going to articulate this is we all need to look at this and understand that if we see something that, you know, we understand its purpose. We think we understand its purpose in our life or what it could be or how we could co-create with it or whatever that might be. But the universe knows more. It's just coming across like the universe knows more, and it will decide who or what gets access. Like, it's pretty strong. But you're also, it's like, don't dream small. I can see why that's kind of coming through here, because it feels like you're pushing up against something that you are absolutely, truly, really meant to do, to create. It just comes across like you have a lot to offer here, but it's like it's not being seen. Or where you felt like you used to connect with people like quite easily and readily is like, no, they don't want it or they're blocking off. If this is a group of people, because we have the Three of Pentacles here, like with the present, like how you connect with this. There's someone here who's, okay, two ways. I'm trying to remember how this is going to tie it together. Okay, there's something else kind of off to the side here in the labyrinth that requires your attention. And when you give something of yourself to that other area, it actually feeds into the thistle. So I believe thistles like also propagate through their root systems, as opposed, I think they also have those burrs and all that seeds and shit, but I think also through their roots, right? Yeah. So, oh, sorry. I'm seeing a stand of trees. I think this is a real thing. Is it like a stand of birch trees or something? No, I don't. It's a stand of trees somewhere. It's a forest. It's a very, very old forest. And it looks like any other forest, like all of the trees are individuals, but they're not. It's one tree. Where is that? Because this is kind of what's coming across here. It's almost like these smaller thistles, because there's something here. I feel like there's, like, in whatever way you're investing, you're missing something here. There's something here that's not getting the investment. And it's probably connected to the thistle. Now, okay, this is a metaphor, so you're going to have to kind of let this one sit with you and think about it. So there, I wish I could remember where this forest is. But they're literally all one tree. I don't know if it started off as one tree and it just propagated through a root system. And they're all one. It's all one tree. So if you were to poison one way off over here, it would make it to all of the others. Like you would kill the whole forest. And then not just through, like that poison kind of leaking into the soil and eventually just physically touching the roots of other trees. No, they're all connected. Which is also interesting, right? Like, we are all connected. Like, you hear that all the time, and it's coming through really strong in this reading. It's because I feel like you're trying to give to the thistle directly, or you're trying to get through what's inside that thistle, trying to crack the boundary, crack the code. It's not the thistle. Like, it's like, let's say there's little tiny baby thistles over here. That's where you should be directing the energies towards. It will feed the thistle. And it's almost as if I don't want to describe it as a test from the universe. It doesn't feel like that. But it's curious. The Ace of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups are here. So a happy new beginning. It sounds like a happy new beginning at some point. I don't know how that comes in. But yeah, the other way too, it's almost like there's a lot of attention either around you or the thistle or both. And that makes it difficult to be perhaps seen or understood one-on-one. Also, just because the Star is like an energy that can get a lot of attention. And the Six of Wands, though, there's all of this attention. There's like a lot of attention. But not in this one spot. Like, this is where it's coming across to me. It's like, well, there's this one spot that's not getting attention. Maybe it's an area of your life or... Okay, so here's another thing. This is coming across to be this way also. It's kind of like, let's say you work for a marketing company or something like that, and you want to get the next promotion that's coming up. You really want to do that. You want to take that on. And so you've kind of, you know, who's giving the promotion would be your boss or some sort of superior. So you do some type of research here, and you're trying to understand and look at the history of what has impressed this person in the past, what kind of thinking or what kind of marketing does this individual like, right? So you're trying to hit the target directly, but yet it's almost like you're not really seeing what has impressed or caused that energy to give promotions, or right, like to, yeah. The key here is not directing it towards who gives the promotion, but it's more directing it to the customer, to the client. It's like, how do you really win with the client? And then that gets right? You see what I'm talking about? Like, there is some type of indirect feed here, Scorpio. That is, I feel like, a more realistic example than the trees and excuse me. Yeah, like that. As you don't impress or get through this thistle directly. You have to approach it sideways, but not. You approach it sideways, but not in a way that is malevolent or malicious or anything like that, right? Obviously, it's not. Yeah. This isn't something that you come at straight. I don't know how else to describe it to you. But that's what I see on here. That's what I see on the table. I'm going to go do the extended, Scorpio. In the extended, yeah, that could be interesting. I'm going to ask what this other energy doesn't know about you, and what you don't know about this other energy. Could be a lot there, to be honest. We already have something hidden. There is the sun. There is some type of self-actualization, some type of bright, clear reality also on the other side of this thistle. There you go. Thank you so much, my Scorpiochinos. Until next time, be gentle with yourselves. Bye.